FM 100 and TV. This is your weekly analysis program that takes a critical look at major events of the week. For this, I have studio analysts who are usually here to analyze some of these major events reported by the media. Well, for today's edition of Inside the Media, I have a studio analysts, Abdurrahman Kamara, good morning.
Good morning.
Mohamed Falikago, good morning.
Good morning.
Eunice Asise, good morning.
Morning, viewers and listeners.
Esther Marie Samura, good morning.
Good morning.
And I also have Hassan Kamara.
Good morning.
And with me also is Winston Ojukutuma College Jr. Good morning.
Morning.
Well, but if you want to take part in the program, just send in your comments or contributions as text messages or WhatsApp messages to the usual numbers. Well, usual lines that I have here for the text message 077-685518, and for the WhatsApp line is 079 15 47 14. Text message again 077 685518, and the WhatsApp line is 079 15 47 14. Well, we have issues here. We have witnessed some press releases which were released to the press yesterday, the one from State House, and then the other from the Internal Affairs Ministry, banning Okadas from the Central Business District. And of course, we are going to look at how ready are we for the heavy rains. Well, just in case you want to be part of the program again, the text message lines I have 077-685518, and for the WhatsApp 079 15 47 14. Well, first of all, before I go to the first item that we have here, let us take a look at the press release which was released banning Okada riders from the Central Business District. Let's listen to the text, to the press release. Here is an important press release from the Ministry of Internal Affairs. The Ministry of Internal Affairs wishes to inform the general public that in consultation with relevant stakeholders, including the Freetown City Council, Sierra Leone Police, the Sierra Leone Road Safety Authority, Commercial Motorbike Riders Union, and the Motor Drivers Union, has on Thursday, 19th May 2016, held a meeting in its conference room to address the high spate of indiscipline and lawlessness in the country, particularly the municipality of Freetown. The following decisions were arrived at to restore sanity throughout the Freetown municipality. Effective Monday, 23rd May 2016, the SLP and the SLRSA will fully commence enforcement of the agreed code of conduct for commercial bike riders operations in Sierra Leone. In that respect, therefore, all commercial bike operations are banned within the Central Business District as follows: Kisi Road, Frawe Road, Sanya Basha Street, Siaka Stevens Street, Sanders Street, Godrich Street, Macaulay Street, Cooltown Road, Pedemba Road, Circular Road, Campbell Street, Benjamin Lane, Adelaide Street, Savage Street, Main Motor Road, Congo Cross, Wilkinson Road, Spar Road, Jomo Kenyatta Road, Rockell Street, McDonald Street, and Ferguson Streets. The following bike riders are exempted to use the CBD provided they produce identification on demand: all official government registered motorbikes, all diplomatic motorbikes, essential services providers, that is DHL, Red Coats, government service personnel in uniform, private security personnel in uniform, NGOs and INGOs. All private bike riders are warned to desist from carrying pylons, that is passengers, while plying the CBD. The ministry is kindly calling on the general public to understand that these actions are taken in the interest of the public for safety and security, and therefore full cooperation of all is highly solicited. Meanwhile, the Motor Drivers Union is warning all commercial, taxi, and poda drivers not to see this as an opportunity to extort money from members of the public. Signed, Hassan K. Kone, Permanent Secretary, Richard Moibe, Inspector General of Police, Al-Aziz Toure, Chief of Staff, Office of the President, Usman Sankor for the Minister of Political and Public Affairs, Major Thomas Sandy for Executive Director, SLRSA, David Sisse, National President, Commercial Bike Riders Union, and Alpha Bar President, Sierra Leone Motor Drivers Union. That is the end of the press release coming to you live from the SLBC in Freetown. Keep watching.
Thanks to Almighty Baga for the press release. It has been clearly stated here now that the motorbike riders should avoid the areas that has been named now, while taking into consideration the level of indiscipline displayed in time past by these Okada riders. Do you see the riders complying with these regulations? I want to begin with Winston Ojikutu Macaulay Jr.
Good morning again, and well, the question now is not whether the bike riders will comply. The question now is how ready and determined are the police in enforcing the laws and regulation issued by the government. And I also would expect us citizens, residents of Freetown, to respect these laws and comply, because we have a situation where...
How do the citizens comply with the law?
Well, you see, Lucian, as I've always been saying, we have a situation when it comes to the Okada, that you have Okada users who tend to impose on the Okadas and force them, including this issue of riding on the one-way street. I know of so many incidents where it is the passenger that is directing the Okada to go up that road. So it is not just the issue of looking at how well the Okada riders are going to comply. It is also for us as citizens to begin to respect law and order and try and discipline ourselves. Because you see, if we don't comply, then we are heading nowhere. And the other issue I'm looking forward to is this issue of identification for Okada riders. You see, Lucian, you cannot leave Freetown, Sierra Leone today and arrive in Conakry, Guinea tomorrow and you start riding Okada. It is not possible, even in Liberia. But somebody can leave Conakry, Guinea today, arrive in Freetown, and by Monday, he's on top of an Okada as an Okada rider. There's nothing, this is not...
Yes, thank you.
Let me just land.
Yeah, okay.
This has nothing to do with ECOWAS or Mano River Union. Because the Guinean authorities will tell you this is not Mano River Union or ECOWAS. So we ourselves in this country should begin to try and recognize these factors in trying to implement and enforce our laws.
Okay, thank you, Winston Ojikutu Macaulay Jr. Let me come right to Abdurrahman Kamara. Abdurrahman, what does that tell you? For authorities in Guinea or Liberia or whatever country not to allow people like us from Sierra Leone to go there and then just begin to do what you think you want to do, whether you call it business or not. For them not to have accepted that. And then in Sierra Leone, yeah, it goes like that. What does that tell you, Abdurrahman?
Well, this is a situation which speaks volume of the level of magnitude the lawlessness and the discipline has been going in the country unchecked. I will agree largely with my senior colleague that it is not the case in other countries where you just come in and tend to do the things you feel is right for you to be done in the first place without going through some strict procedures. That in itself is a kind of challenge to the authority. But I am looking at it from the point of the law enforcement aspect. This perhaps could be an ideal initiative with a very good purpose and intent. But what perhaps we're looking out for and will monitor in the next couple of days, Lucian, it is the aspect of the aspect of enforcement of the laws. There has been situation where Okadas has been banned, nothing seems to be done. They will come at the end, they will have a roundtable discussion and see how they can intercede to actually, transpose their indifference. But the bottom line here is, and perhaps what perhaps could be my worry, the greater worry, let the Internal Affairs Ministry understand that this is not a question where the government has invoked a MACP. So in this case, we don't want to see military officers in the street of Freetown helping the police. The police are capable of instituting whatever order is given to them to checkmate some of these excesses.
What do you mean
But
that's where they fail?
No. The point, you cannot overstretch the military. This is purely an internal affairs business. It's quite delicate, Lucian. You will see it just by the
What makes you think now that there will be military presence?
It has been even before this thing was invoked. It has been. There were military guys assisting the police in the street of Freetown to actually go through the process. What I'm saying,
You don't like that?
no, it is unconstitutional. You can only have military to partner with the police in the situation of MACP.
Where MACP has been invoked.
But in a situation where you would just think that the military is there, you could just take upon them to do the work of the police. You are undermining even the spirit of the police. The police are capable. They have been doing their work effectively.
So should this thing be left in the hands of the police?
In the hands of the
Let's
police,
see whether
the security of the state lies with the primacy of the police. They are capable, and this is where perhaps us as citizens, it is going to affect us, because for a good number of citizens, a good number of people going to work, they rely much more on the Okadas, But for the betterment of the state and enforcing law, it doesn't mean that you've been doing the wrong thing for a long time. It constitutes law. We have to start to rethink and recalibrate our mindset in ensuring that we have it right. What is coming from the Internal Affairs Ministry is quite important for you and I, because we've seen people limping the street of it as a result of Okada accident and all the rest of it. But the bottom line here is the government will be quite instructive and insightful in the way they manage. The question of enforcement is going to be a challenge.
Okay, thank you very much, Abdulrahman Kamara. Hassan Kamara, have you used an Okada before?
Yes.
Okay.
I use Okada every day
Okay.
to move to my college.
Okay, so then let's look at this press release now. That is
I believe it is legal because it has the legal backing of the government, and we must respect everything that comes from the government. And I just want to say here, the internal minister has put a priority on the first formula that he wants to implement in his tenure of office, and that is to do this thing about Okada recklessness. And we must be mindful as citizens that the authority have given the legal backing, and in as much as they have given the legal backing, there is a need for us to coordinate and cooperate well to see how they could get the better result that we are all anticipating. Because we have seen the lawlessness by these Okada riders. They are not even mindful that they are carrying important personalities in society. And it is not by mistake. Sometimes it is accidental, in the sense the means of plying the streets. Sometimes you just need Okada to do it for you. And in as much as we know the role that they are performing, but they must be working within the confines of the law. For example, if this area is restricted, there is no need for you to move there. So if you want to take up challenge, and you meet the law. And that is why the police must be ready to tackle, to complement.
How should the police be ready? Because these Okada riders are skillful. They are very smart.
Yes.
And it is very difficult for you, you are standing here, to get an Okada, a moving Okada.
Yes.
It is very difficult. So what do you think, what strategies should the police employ to nab these lawless Okada riders?
I believe,
should they refuse to comply to the regulations?
I believe they have the strategy to perform.
Because Abdulrahman has said it that the military should not be involved.
Yeah, they must not be involved. And this is the law. And the police are there to enforce the law. So they have their own strategy. So I don't want to preempt that is the strategy that they are going to use. But I believe they will operate as expected this time because of the leadership. Yeah, I'm optimistic because of the leadership.
Okay.
And he has done something by implementing some leadership qualities. And I believe
What leadership?
over the past Ebola.
Okay,
The internal affairs minister.
Okay.
Yes. And I believe he will not want to fail. And it's the first assignment that he needs to work on.
Okay.
And if he succeeds in this one, and I believe he will succeed.
You give him a tap on the back.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Hassan Kamara. Okay. Yes, Mohamed Farikabu, it's your turn. I want to ask you a strange question. We have what Winston said, that citizens or us who are using these Okadas, we used to tell the Okada riders, go with me that way, go with me that way. What do you think us as citizens should be doing to help the situation in order not to create another situation where we will begin to blame the police and blame the minister for failing? Because if he fails, all of us will fail with him.
Yeah.
Don't you think so? What do you think we should be doing?
Well, Okada or motorbikes, as useful as they may be, have been banned from using the central business districts. I must say some of us would be
Stranded.
yeah, exactly. We'll be stranded and disadvantaged because sometimes when one wants to use or to do very fast movement, the only way is to use a motorcycle or a bike to go to the central business district. Because if you are going to use a car, then you definitely be late for your mission or whatever assignment you are to carry. But the law is the law, and we must look at what is good for the general. We must look at the general good. What is more important for all of us? Most times, some of us who drive around town have also been concerned at the reckless way in which motorbikes ply the streets. And as people who are who are using motorbikes, we can help solve the problem without even the police enforcing it, or without even the bike riders doing anything about it. Because if I have known, what people should be doing now is people should take a look at the press release, look at all the streets that are prohibited from being plied by motorcycles, and tell the bike riders that we are not going there. Nobody should use a motorbike to take them to the places that have been prohibited. If we can all do that, because if a bike is waiting for passengers and nobody tells the bike riders that I'm going to Sheikha Stevens Street, or I'm going to Kisi Street, or I'm going to Pademba Wood, or I'm going to any of the streets that are prohibited, then the bikes cannot go there. But if they have passengers that want to go to those places, then they will definitely be forced to go there. But I want to see a situation in which we must, because this is not the first time that we've seen such missions or such assignments or such declarations. I want to see a situation in which this would hold force.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm afraid, because it will be very difficult, because even the bike riders are complaining that there are some police officers that have bikes that do ply some of those prohibited areas.
So if a release has been made, I think they should be monitoring to see whether there will be any kind of, like what you are saying now. If the police officers who have their motorbikes on the streets, and then this press release has come out, if there's any breach of that, I think they should report that, and then the media should take over.
And normally, how people normally start is to use private bikes to say this is private, then they go there. That's how some commercial motorbikes.
But that's an assignment for the media, Abdulrahman, not so?
Yes,
it's an assignment for us.
We too have a role to play.
Oh yes.
We keep monitoring the situation. In a situation where things want to falter out, our responsibility. We are not in authority, but we can influence.
Oh sure.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Abdulrahman Kumar. Esther Marisa Moa, you are the next speaker. From all what studio analysts have said.
Deliberately joke is like this.
Yes, no, I'm coming. He's the last person to talk.
He's a guru.
Yes, he's a guru, a veteran journalist. From all what these analysts here have said, do you think it is good, or it will be good for the laws to come down on both the bike rider and the passenger? Should they, breach the rule and go to those streets? Because you cannot just hold the bike rider and there is this passenger there.
Right.
It must have been possible for the passenger to have influenced that particular bike rider. Do you think the law should also go for those defaulters?
Definitely so. And first and foremost, just like what Faik
do you agree with what I said?
Of course, Lucy, and I agreed, because it is the passengers that will go to the bike that take me to Panemba Road, to Kisi Road. to Sheka Stephen states, just like what Faika was saying, if I did not come and tell the Okada riders, please take me to Panemba Road, the Okada rider would definitely not take that person to Panemba Road. So I believe the Okada riders, the passengers, anybody that violates the rules and the regulation, they should be held, because the Okada riders will not ply the stage of Freetown without having any passengers. And we see another
should
thing.
be held accountable.
Of course,
Okay.
both the passengers and the Okada riders.
So if I start marrying someone who flouts,
I'll
she should be
definitely
held
not flout
accountable.
it.
Okay.
I'll definitely not flout
Okay.
it.
Yes.
And also, another key point, some people will be using the private bikes as commercial bikes. And yesterday I was listening to the Secretary General of the Western Area Bike Association, and he was very much optimistic that they will not violate these rules. But and trust me, this press release would come to effect on Monday the 23rd. These Okada riders, they will definitely they will riot with the police. Honestly, they
Is that
will
what you are
definitely.
thinking?
So I believe.
Is that what you are thinking?
I know them.
Are they above the rules?
Most of them are disciplined. These Okada riders, most of them.
Okay,
They will
let's
tend to
wait
fight
for
with
Monday and
police.
see what happens on Monday.
Definitely.
Cameras will be out. Let's see what happens on Monday. Yes, Julius is the veteran journalist.
Thank you very much. As Esther alluded to, there's a potential for confrontation. on this
There
matter.
is.
There
Is that what you are envisaging?
Precisely, there's a potential. I say so because you're talking about police and army ownership. That is not the end of the story. And the nature of the Okada business is that you buy Okadas and the Okada rider pays you for about 6 months. Then he becomes the owner. So there are a lot of these boys
Well,
who
is that
own.
is that
Precisely,
yes.
that is how it works.
6 months?
Precisely. So a lot of them do own Okadas, and this is why you go to every police station, you see huge quantities of these Okadas. They are parked there. You don't leave them there because it has become their own. So in fact, even the owners of these things are not very much in play this time, because most of these bikes are owned by the Okada. We have known also that a lot of these Okada riders are formerly war front people. You know, so this is why this is how you relate also the way they behave when they are doing this thing. They are usually ex-combatants. Most of these boys are and they are owners. And we have cultivated, you don't know how much we have cultivated a lot of young, rich boys. Some of them own 10, 20 bikes through this way, getting here precisely. So in fact, they have a direct. Now, we are talking about enforcing the law. Yes, it is the job of the police and the traffic wardens. It is the job. It's also the job, as you have said, of the citizens. Where the Okadas cannot feign any ignorance. They are supposed to be disciplined. So if a passenger tells you to go somewhere where you know you should not go, you should not. But these are Sierra Leoneans. Let's look at the other way. Now, this senior was talking the other day about the alternative routes given to them, which are not developed. I was born and brought up in the East End. They are supposed to apply all those parts, and these things have to be developed very quickly. Precisely, there are no feeder routes for them to pass up the years. You see, all the major routes have been banned, and the only way we make it easy for them to abide by the law is to make sure that we do some quick, remedy, immediate action up there.
But let them start.
And I know.
And then the
I'm not saying that we should not do it, but again, and look at their own. And even also with the safety of the passengers. You go to roads that are not developed, it's easy to get an accident up there. So it's a two-way street. While we are trying to enforce this law at all costs, then we should also make sure that the alternative routes we give them are passable. You know,
Okay. But there are also good roads which are not mentioned.
yeah, I know. But if you go up the hill, I don't know if you have ever been up the hills.
When you are looking for money,
Yeah, I
they
know.
charge huge amount of
No,
money.
I'm saying, I'm talking
to
about
take
if the
people
road
to
is
some
not
of these
good,
places.
the potential
So,
for accidents is very high.
It's business.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
With a few seconds.
Few seconds. The issue of enforcement and the potential for confrontation. Sierra Leone doesn't live. It's not an isolated country. When this same thing happened in Ghana, in Accra, not too long ago. What needs to be done now for the Sierra Leone Police and the Minister of Internal Affairs, and indeed Freetown City Council, because Freetown City Council also has a Metropolitan Police.
Yeah.
What needs, and the road traffic warden, as she used to say, what happened in Accra? They simply brought in bikes for the police and the Accra city, the local authority in Accra, and the traffic wardens.
To do
This
it.
12 This was just
okay. Yeah.
This was
because
just
it's very difficult to chase.
this was just 3 months ago. I'm telling you, in Accra.
Okay.
And what happened was that the police, the Accra local authorities, and the traffic wardens chased the Okadas right across Accra. Within 3 days, they were fully in control of the street.
So did they understand?
And the same thing happened in Monrovia, February 2013.
Okay.
And
Could
then
be a good
finally,
idea.
and finally,
No, thank you very much.
with regards to the
But the small point,
You have succeeded in
the small
making
point, the small point I want to make about that.
Yeah, quickly. I think this one is very much important. Lucian, I think what should have preceded as a venture if these people had wanted to succeed is the aspect of the street trading. The street traders account largely for the congestion of the streets that is slowing the traffic. If they could not in any way address that particular challenge, falling heavily on the Okadas, I think the focus of the government again must be seen addressing the aspect of the street traders. But mind you, politics plays a central role in undermining key development ventures in the state. Mark my words, in the next coming days or months, you will see a gross political interference that will tell you, for want of word, it made a left them. We're looking for vote at the end of the day, and that will dampen the spirit of the Internal Affairs Minister.
Okay, thank you. The program is Inside the Media, live on SLBC Radio FM 100 and your TV screen. But just in case you want to be part of the program, the numbers are for the text line 077-685518 and for the WhatsApp 079-15-47-14. Quickly, let me go through the next one. I have some WhatsApp messages, but I want to go through let's take the second topic. I have with me here a press release from the Office of the President. The general public is hereby informed that as part of the Global Open Government Partnership, OGP, His Excellency the President reaffirms his commitment to run an open, transparent and accountable government that will continue to work closely with all stakeholders, including the media and civil society. His Excellency is proud to note that his government, through the OGP, is among the first to establish an open data portal in Africa, as well as a single treasury account for fiscal accountability. Government is now publishing 70% of all mining and agricultural contracts, just as it is in the process of passing into law a records management bill which will support the right to access information pursuant to a first national action plan. His Excellency takes this opportunity to announce that the development of the second OGP National Action Plan of Sierra Leone will commence by the end of June 2016. He is therefore urging all ministries, departments and agencies of government and civil society to continue to work together and effectively participate in the process. The process will undoubtedly afford government another window of opportunity to address issues and concerns that may be worthy of inclusion within the second National Action Plan. To that end, all citizens are advised to engage the OGI-OGP Secretariat to have their say in the process. That is the end of the press release. I know, Unisa, you want to be the first speaker, and I will give you the opportunity.
Thank you very much for the benefits, for the benefits of listeners and viewers. The OGI, they refer to is the Open Government Initiative. It's an initiative of His Excellency the President when he came into office.
You have only 2 minutes.
Yes, and after that, we know because of this commitment, huge commitment to open governance, and transparency, at the very height of Ebola, in October 2014, the government saw it fit to establish the Right to Access Information Commission as a further commitment. It's not difficult, and since that time, they've been trying to. And also, it was a precondition for the establishment of what we refer to OGP. It is the Open Government Partnership. It's a worldwide partnership of all governments which are committed to open governance.
Yes,
Yeah,
we want to know
yes.
what significance is this open government partnership. To what benefits? What do we see?
Yeah, but as we said,
at the end of the day,
open
when we're
government.
talking about the second national action plan, will be influenced.
These
by all
are
of
these
this.
are commitments. The open government partnership, the worldwide partner, as I said, it is established precisely to monitor and report on progresses. So you establish commitments like what you talked about, treasury accounts, things like that. Passing archives acts. Yes, precisely. These are all achievements which the open government partnership itself monitors deliberately and it facilitates their establishment. And this is why you talked about that. So in fact, in the matter of the Right to Access Information Commission.
That's what I want to ask you. How far have we gone?
In the matter of the Right to Access Information Commission, one key which supports this I'm talking about is the proactive disclosure of information of all entities. You don't have to wait until you ask a question. You have bound by law, defined in the Act, what you have to disclose to the public. So in fact, it's a way of opening the government. When we never had a situation where mining agreements were published before. That is all public knowledge now. The citizens should know every contract, any road contract, how much it costs, who is doing it, when it's supposed to be done, and all of that.
So in a nutshell,
Precisely.
this particular press release is telling us that everything now is open.
Yeah, precisely. Not most things are supposed to be open. We are moving towards that. The press release is telling you.
Because if I want to know something, I go.
I know.
I should get it.
Well, I'm just telling you. Everybody knows that the right to access information. You can ask any question. But apart from asking a question, the right to access information commission also shows that at SLBC, for example, all of information about how much you earn eventually should be in the website. How much I earn, if you want to know, should be in the website. That's part of the opening. It used to be secret. When government has
No more secret. That's what I'm saying. Everything is going to be open.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get Abdullah Kamara here quickly. We have 2 minutes to just.
Two things, Lucia. You primarily asking about the significance of this initiative. Well, it's a key benchmark that will determine the growth of development in the country. You will agree with me that it has been a situation where government tend to operate in a crusade. This is no longer the case. Government business must now be in open knowledge. People should no longer be stranded to understand the way government activities are undertaken. And the most important aspect about it, Lucian, if you could give me your attention, please.
Yeah.
The most important aspect about it is about the creation of a single treasury account. This will invariably address the challenges of wastage, because you will understand that the agenda for prosperity will never be realized in a climate of wastage. What this is trying to address, the budgetary allocation over the years has been based on inequality. For instance, you have Ministry A having more than Ministry B, Ministry B having more than Ministry C. There are ministries even at the end, before the end of the year, they will never exhaust what is being allocated to them. So in a situation where Ministry A is in dire need of any given sum, I'm still requiring your attention.
Yeah.
In any, it's very much important. In a situation where Ministry A is looking for further funds, the single account will create that opportunity. It's just a black basket account. You have a ministry in this country that have more than 200 accounts. That one is going to be abolished. More than 200 accounts.
Are you serious?
I'm a journalist. I'm Peter aware of what I'm saying. They operate more than 200 accounts.
No, but
you will go to departments and
too
all
much.
of it. And this is what the treasury account is telling you now. With a single treasury account, all government funds
Are you serious of what you're saying?
Yes,
honestly,
multiple accounts.
multiple accounts. Each and every department in the ministry.
Yeah.
Yes. Each and every department in the ministry has their own account. They operate their own account. So the single treasury account,
for corruption.
the single treasury account is now moving towards addressing some of those challenges. They eliminate all of those challenges. For what of all, if you want any money now, you just go to the single account and address that particular thing. So this is what is straight on. But the bottom line here is the operator of the portal that open data is a government official. how instructive will it be in telling you the right thing that is being factored into that account? That again is a key challenge.
Okay.
So we must ensure that as journalists, we ensure that we pro in furtherance to ensure that what they give out is what actually is. For instance, they may sign a contract on Diamond Deal and all the rest of it. The question is that the right information that has been placed, or is the information that they think they want to be placed in that data, in that portal that they could give to us? So those are the critical issues we need to ask. It's a very good initiative. It's a benchmark for key development indicator in the state, but there are accompanying challenges of which critical minds could come and ask those questions.
As much as, thank you very much, Abdulrahman Kamal. Yes, Hassan.
Yeah.
As much as the person controlling the open data portal is a government functionary.
That's the problem.
Relations of
Because
what?
yes,
What
yes.
Abdulrahman is saying.
Yes. Before I come that directly, let me just make mention of this. I have special interest in that particular
This
plan
initiative.
of government.
Yes.
And the special interest is accountability and transparency. And the next one is democratic postmortem. And transparency and accountability is the strongest pillar for development, because you cannot succeed if you are not transparent in your activities. And again, we consider the aspect of democratic postmortem. That can create a window wherein citizens will have informed information, because if you don't have the information that is required, that in itself will undermine some development plans. And again, the one that is regulating that particular aspect is also a signal whether it's going to do the right thing, or they need some people in line to monitor whether the information that is being forwarded is the right information that the person is giving out to the public. And that in itself has a long way to maintain the stance of government, if only it is to move further in terms of development and accountability and transparency.
Okay, Hassan Kabara, thank you very much. Yes, Mohamed Farikani.
Well, we are trying, but we are a bit behind. We are far behind in terms of making government or government's duties or functions open as it is. Now, you want to think. The first place, we must start from having websites for different ministries, departments, and agencies. As we speak, most ministries, departments, and agencies do not have a functioning website, and that is where it starts. Because if you are to have an open government, you must not only rely on that open data or open data that portal alone. We must have the different ministry, departments, and agencies having a functional website where they can upload their information on things that happen in their different ministries. And in the open portal now, then you can have maybe links to all of those ministries, where you can just, with just a click, you can get to the website of the ministry or department or agency concerned and get the information. So we have a lot more to do to make sure that all of the functions of government are made public, or most of because it's not everything that happens in government that you have to make public. There are, of course, exemptions in the interest of national security and other considerations, but there are those information that you can actually publish so that members of the public can know and maybe add their own voice, because the people are also important in terms of how the monies that are allocated to them are used, because government is holding money in trust on behalf of the people, and those monies must be used for developmental purposes, to know that, to make sure that they are used correctly and in the right way.
Thank you very much, Mohamed Farikabo. Esther Marisa Mora. In this day of technology, everywhere people are advanced every day because of technology advancement, and we are here in Sierra Leone talking about the whole ministries or departments or agencies without having proper websites or data. Even if you go to some places now, you ask for data, they will hardly provide reliable data for you. It is very, I don't want to call it a shame, but it is. Yes.
Even
what's your comment on that?
Indeed, a lot and lots of institutions in Sierra Leone are proper functioning website. For instance, even at the birth and death, if I could recall, when we wanted to have, because when you go to the where you take certificate for your birth certificate, if you go there, the first time when you went there, they will give you a slip. If you misplace that the former one, you go there for it to be given to you again. But unfortunately, the last time my cousin, she went there and she was given the slip, and when she misplaced her birth certificate, she went there with the slip. Unfortunately, there was no data. The person that we met there find it very much difficult to see how best she could at least find the data where they wrote her name. And this is a big problem. But if government institutions have websites, it will be very much easy for somebody to have information that they need.
Data.
But unfortunately, even the 2013 access to information, there are some restrictions because of national security. But Lucian, trust me, even this open government partnership that is about to be implemented, not everything will be exposed. Some certain information, they will not give it to the public.
Yes,
that is paramount.
And they should not give all information to the public.
But some certain things, they just need the people to have the information, because
those are
if
exempt.
you don't, of course, but if you don't allow the people to have the information, there comes speculation. There come people start to think maybe corruption is operating.
Yeah, there are some things that are meant for public consumption.
Sure,
but there are some things that are not meant for public consumption. So I hope that the things which are meant for public consumption should be released.
I think you must be able to relate it on the aspect of security. For instance, you cannot just go to MOD and request
exemptions are there.
Exemptions you cannot.
Exemptions are there.
Yes. It's not everything that will be made public. Yes. We'll see.
Lucia, I listened to more through UNICEF here, and they was trying to give me some more information. Why is the other my other colleagues who are making their contributions? For me, I will skip even Liberia, Ghana, right now. We even go to America. Even America is not a completely open society. Even in the United Kingdom, it is not a completely open society. So when you say just now, so everything is going to be open.
Well, that's
I
was trying to tell you.
I am very concerned because you see, Sierra Leone is still a very young society, and the rate at which we as a citizen are putting pressure on the government to be open, if you ask me, I'm very worried. Because when there are issues, for instance, I missed the program on the BBC the other day about the Ebola funds and whatnot. The figures and what I missed the program where I had people discussing it. And then I asked one question. I said, why not Liberia? Why not Guinea? To date, nobody has questioned the Guinean government as to how much they spend and how they spend their money fighting Ebola. To date, no one has asked the Liberian government how they spend the money and what not. And yet, in this country, when the president was trying to get people to understand that, yes, we are doing what is right, those figures and information are now being used to whip the government. So when you talk about everything should be open, I'm against it. I am against it.
I was asking you, sir, because what he was trying to tell us.
I'm sorry.
Everything
you see, we are using this word. We are using this word democracy, freedom of information, open government, like it is. I'm sorry.
Anyway,
Lucian, just 1 minute, please.
Yes. Quickly, let me go through the text messages, and then I will come back to you for your response. The first one here says, civil society groups in any nation like Sierra Leone help to bring change and development, but some people are negative in their actions. I want to know if the law is not effective and why lawlessness pervades in some important places in Sierra Leone. From ASK The Point. And let me go through another WhatsApp message we have. This one says, I bet you politics and political sentiments will override and undermine this so-called crackdown on Okada. From history, all operations by security personnel to curb lawlessness has failed, all because of political reasons. The Operation Free Flow, Operation Z, Operation Y, you name them. They are just fooling us. It's mere political camouflage. This is coming from Sulaiman from Brookfields. And let me go through another one. It says, we don't need thesis here, please. This one is too long. I cannot even attempt to start reading it. This other one says, oh Salon, if it is not this one rule today and the other one tomorrow, but no result at the end of the day. An anonymous texter. This one says, as the bike riders were also part of the campaign for the APC government, they should be handled tactfully. Paulo Conte, your focus should not be overexcited, from James Noah. This other one says, the only way out is the police to charge both the passenger and the rider. And this other one says, enforcement of the law is my major concern, from Castino in Lunge. This other one says, though 3 days ago I was in police net for patrolling without helmets, I was charged to court and fined. I paid, but I'm still supporting the operation. Commercial bike riders should avoid the CBD and go to the hillside roads to ply. This is coming from lecturer J.Y. Mahoy, Ribi Chiefdom. And this other one says, banning bike riders in the CBD is fine, but are these politicians not going to allow these guys again to use the same route during elections? Lecturer J.Y. Mahoy. Okay, so I will now allow you to make few seconds comments before we go to the final issue.
Yes, very briefly.
Yes, Farika, go. Few seconds.
Yes, as far as I'm concerned, issues about money and spending should not be secrets. If the government knows that what it is doing is the right thing, then I see no reason why the government should be afraid to publish those information. Information about money, income, and expenditure should be made public. I stand by that.
Should be made public.
Yes.
And I also want to say this, that people must not be overexcited, because some people, they have a misconception that I need to know this, and that in itself will create room for chaos. So they must be mindful that it is not everything that they are going to be given information on. Yeah.
It's not everything, yes.
Yes, thank you very much. When I say open government, it is not open. The law, there's a law in this country which gives the right to every Sierra Leonean to have access to information. But the law is very specific. It also has exemptions. There are exemptions in the law, like defense and security, personal information between doctor and patient, lawyer and client, even traditions and customs. Information
It's not everything that should be made public.
It's there. The law is quite clear.
But money matters,
Yeah.
like what Farika says,
Yeah, precisely.
should be made public.
It's quite clear. And the matter of the websites for the agencies, a lot of agencies do have got a website. What we are doing,
Many of them
Ministry of Information do not have.
it's part of our work to monitor and link up this website. A lot of them are not updated.
Okay.
That's the fact.
Thank you very
They're
much.
not updated.
We are taking on to the third and final story that we have. That one we'll comment just one minute. Residents of Kube are always calling on government to take proactive measures to stop those littering the streets and gutters at the top, wherein when it rains heavily, the field will eventually litter their houses, hereby causing disaster and flood. And now we are approaching the heavy rains. You know, what do we make of this? Let's just give quick comments to this, and then we'll give this particular story prominence in our next program. Yes.
Well, I must say common sense must prevail among those people that in the first place, they must understand that that particular place is not quite habitable for them. At all costs, they should be able to avoid settling in those type of settlements. That for me is a question of encouraging other people not to litter it has to be done. But the bottom line here is the government over the years has tried their best to ensure that you guys don't live in that particular place. It's not habitable for you. Quickly, I don't know whether I should say anything on the bike ride as quickly as a roundup.
What do you want to say?
I am seeing Paulo Conte as a very fine gentleman. He has a very good ambition, but he must not lay himself open to suspicion, because what I understand, and I think it has proven, that most of the bikes that are impounded are taken in his house.
Yeah.
So that should not be the case. He's a professional
Yes,
head.
no.
No. I'm
Okay,
coming.
finish.
He's a professional
He has
head.
the right to
I have
his
the
opinion.
right. I have done my
Of
investigation.
course.
He's a professional head. His responsibility is to give an oversight through that ministry. The bulk of the job must be done by the police. Taking bikes that are impounded into your residence could give a bad signal for you. I would just want to encourage you from that perspective.
Okay, thank you very much, Hassan.
Yeah, I want to talk on the issue of our Kube people, and I pity them because of their vulnerability, but I want to consider it from another perspective. But some of us being a victim is as a result of self.
Are you living in Kobe?
No, I'm not. I live at New England. Yeah, I pity them. Yes. And one thing, safety comes first. And if you think you are residing in a particular area that you think your life is in a serious threat, why do you live there? That is my concern. And over the years, governments have made some submissions that don't live there. There is a room for relocation. And I've heard it on radio that people used to say, I've stayed there for over 40 years. I can manage the situation, I will not relocate. So who do you blame them?
Okay, Fahid?
It's a surprise that people are still living in that place, because
Why are you surprised?
well, the incident of September 16 last year should have taught us a lesson that people should move there, and of course a place was made at 6 Mile for people to relocate. I wonder how many people are still there. To this time, nobody is talking about them, and I wonder when last anybody was able to visit those people to know how they are faring on. But be that as it may, it is also a legitimate concern that people should not litter the gutters with filth, because it will have a very bad effect on other people, because we are all each other's keeper, we are neighbors, we are brothers and sisters, and in as much as some of us live uptown, there are other people who are living down the streams. Even though what they should be doing now is to ask the government to relocate them, to find better alternative places for them to live, instead of asking for those other things.
Okay, but there is a statement, UNICEF, that these people in Islam make. They said, pull the Islam and the people, not pull the people from Islam. How do you view that?
I beg to differ. I think we should
That's their
eliminate it.
statement.
I was born and brought up in Freetown, in the East End. And that's
In Islam?
No, it doesn't matter where I was.
No.
It doesn't matter whether I was from Islam.
Qualify.
Now, by the grace of
Do you
God,
support the statement, pull
Exactly.
Islam and the
Qualify.
I have just said that Islam should be closed.
Oh.
That's why I started. I was saying I was born and brought up in the East End. That route used to be the way we go to association to watch football matches. And that slum happened yesterday. It was never there. Let's be very frank. Those who know Freetown will tell me. And it's a huge disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah.
I think there is no way that place should be tolerated. You see, because first of all, the garbage coming from the littering the sea also, endangered even the fish population, and also it's a den for criminality. Remember when they were relocated to the association grounds, the prostitution which was happening there was transferred to the association grounds. So you can imagine. I think the government should show, and the Freetown City Council, more decisive action to relocate those people. Either, there's a way out now. The way to Malama is all open now. 4-lane road is going to be constructed, and there's the peninsula.
Thank you very much, Ulysses.
Thank you.
Yes, Esther Marisa.
Yeah, at times somebody needs to at least prefer safety than danger. I think for the people living at Kube, it is the sole responsibility of the government to take proactive measures against that. Because if you ask the people to relocate from Kube, you demolish all of the houses there, you provide houses for them where you've relocated them, then definitely the people will not disrespect your order. But if they need to provide for them houses for them,
people,
it is the sole
First
responsibility
temporary.
of the government, because They want to relocate the people.
Okay.
And they just
This
need
is
to be
another big
proactive.
debate. Yes, finally we still Ojukwu College.
Well, it is not the sole responsibility of government, but when it comes to vulnerable people, yes, the government should look into it and see how much they can help. And I think that is work in progress. As Farid mentioned, 6 Mile, it is work in progress. For me, Kube, like Unisa said, should be closed, likewise the other slums. With regards to the bikes, yes, Paulo Conte took about 20-25 bikes to his house. And
Which is wrong.
I did not interrupt you people. We all talk about the will, the political will, whether government will do this and do that. What we should realize is that political will is the unconditional use of political power. And there's a deep mistrust between the Okada riders and the police. And at the particular time the incident took place, there were no other alternatives. Because what would have happened at the end of the day, if those bikes were taken to the police station, the same way you're trying to protect Paulo, people would have come back and see those bikes taken to the police station were tampered with. The safest way was to have removed them and kept them at his house, and they're now being that issue is now being addressed. It was a temporary decision.
Okay, we take that with a pinch of salt.
It is wrong in every sense of it. It is wrong in every sense of it. There are government offices, there are government places where all those bikes could be taken.
Okay, and finally, before we go, this final set of text message says, Lucian, politicians are just fooling us. The Okada ban in the CBD will be a temporary thing. Just wait 2018 when elections are here. You will see. It is coming from Ali in Pepel. And this other one says, we not get light again in New Englandville. It's coming from Ayo. Another one says, what is government doing about the rapid increase of the dollar, which is leading to indiscriminate increase of prices? Well, another one says, I am envisaging one of the major challenges I am envisaging in this reinforcement of the press release issued by the Ministry of Internal Affairs is that most of the Okadas are owned by soldiers and policemen. Please let your panelists comment from Castino and Lunge. And this other one says there are no jobs in the country. All these bike riders are breadwinners of their families. Do you know what will happen to their families suffering for their wives and kids? And this other one says, I agree with one of the points made by the panelists that politicians will put spanner on the decision reached once the Okada riders in the city, on the Okada riders in the city, just for vote from concerned citizens. Well, that's how we bring the curtain down for today's edition of Inside the Media. On behalf of all of us here, my studio analyst here, I want to say many thanks to Edward T. Camera, our camera operator, and of course, Sahid Mansare for standing behind the camera. Thanks to Tosan Onyamere and Senesi Makavui. Thank you to all of you for sending in your comments, text messages, and WhatsApp messages. Well, in case you missed part of the program at all, you have an opportunity to watch the program repeat on Sunday at 10 a.m. on the same channel. With them, you have a splendid weekend. Inside the Media returns on Saturday, but I'm afraid, because all roads lead to go, we are going to be here for our /annual general meeting. Yes. Well, I want to say many thanks to all of us. Goodbye.
Announce the /meeting.
When is the / Next week?
That's what I've said.
What we would like to see in the future during these proceedings and to take the proceedings